this point in time is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, pinpointed the blunders that were made in court today. Follow me carefully. I'm going to be showing you virtually everything. They have been stating it outrightly that Justice Omotosho, you are outrightly approving the evidences shown by Omowolu and the federal government against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So by this time, with the way things are going, following the transmitter and containers observation, I am going to inform the United Nations and the Americans to probably come and see what is happening in the court. Omowolu brings out in court as evidence against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it will be accepted. And when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer try to object that particular motion, he will now turn them down. So it is good now that the American observers were in court today to see all the court rulings. Now follow me carefully. Let me show you and tell you all what happened. As you could see on your screen, you could see that the American sent an observer to monitor Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's court proceeding today, and Justice Omotosho were shocked because they now know that whatever you are doing now is being in the public domain. Follow me carefully. Let me take you through what all transpired in court today, and I will tell you the blunders that were made in court that were so significant. And it is good that the American observers saw this before them to know outrightly where Justice Omotosho judgment will probably be coming from. Now, following the rejection of previous tender documents by the court, they went as far as presenting another evidence, or probably stating from NBC. Now the prosecution asked, can you identify these documents in front of the American observer? Witness stated yes. NBC came over to examine the transmitter at the DSS headquarters after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's brought in the transmitter. The judge now stated, does the defense team have anything to say with regards to the document from NBC? Defense stated, we have no objection to the NBC report that the prosecution intends tendering to the court. Now at this time, the court has admitted the NBC report as an S-bit. It admitted it as an S-bit. Follow me carefully. Now, they went further to state, the prosecution asked, can you please explain your role as a law enforcement officer, being the witness? Witness stated, my role is to acquire information and report it to my director. Some of my responsibilities include raiding camps, and I saw human heads, bodies, and ESN eating human bodies. Prosecution now asks, do you, the owner of the testimony presented before the court last time? The witness stated, we have not found Ozoma, aka Onyame. Now look at one of the blunders in this particular statement made by the witness. It is obvious that he stated that he saw human heads and bodies, that ESN eating human bodies. You could see that it was a clear blunder and a clear lie, because the Eastern Security Network was formed under the grounds to, uphold and protect the farmlands in the southeastern region. There is no time. These are human beings. It is very, very clear that you cannot see human beings feeding on their fellow human beings. But it is obvious that he made this particular statement, being the witness. So this witness is being, blindfolded. So you cannot actually see the witness and stating if actually he knows you or not. On the case of where he stated, follow me carefully. On the state of where he stated that we have not found Onyame. Recall in my previous video, it was obvious that Onyame is in detention in the DSS custody, and he has spied. Like, he is no longer available to come and testify, but whatever he's stating is what they are using based on the Vanguard newspaper report. Now, the prosecution went further. What do you have to say about the transmitter? The witness stated, based on my physical observation, it is understood that the equipment was intended to be used for broadcasting. Also, before importing a transmitter into Nigeria, you must first obtain approval, but it wasn't obtained. At this time, the witness started indicting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, stating that he brought in a transmitter without any approval. Now, assuming though not conceding, if this transmitter was brought in without no approval, assuming though not conceding, were the borders so porous not to, for this transmitter to come in? You could see the blunders this time. Now, prosecution went further to state, who is the owner of the transmitter? Now, witness stated, I can confirm that the defendant is the owner of the transmitter. He now went to refer, go to Vanguard publication dated July 3rd, 2023. You will see the detailed news. The prosecution now asked, if you see the Vanguard publication, would you recognize it? The witness stated, yes, I will. Now, at this point in time, the defense counsel objects the tendering of the newspaper publication. The presiding judge overrules the defense objection and marks the publication as exhibit. You could see what is happening right before the US observers. It is obvious and it is clear that they are seeing what is happening. Now, the prosecution went further to state, what do you think about the attack on the Owerri prison? These questions were prone to what the previous court sitting where they tendered all this, both the transmitter, the Kanu'S breaking into the Imo Correctional Center and all of this. So that is why the prosecution is asking, what do you think about the attack in Owerri prison? Now, the witness went further to state, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu authorized the prison break. You could see the blunder, you could see the lie, you could see a lot of things tendering on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, when did Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stated that the Kanu'S or whosoever should attack the prison in the correctional center in Imo State? It is null and void. Now, the prosecution asks, were you able to locate Onyame? The witness stated, no, we have not found Uzoma aka Onyame. So if you have not found Uzoma aka Onyame, how then are you now being justified that Onyame is one of the persons that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu actually, assuming do not conceding, sent to buy over 3,000 persons and he succeeded in buying only 30? You could see that this same Onyame has spied though is not even alive to come and testify by himself. So a lot of things happened in the front of the United States with observer. Follow me carefully. Now the prosecution has moved to reading the presumed written statement of Uzoma Benjamin aka Onyame as written in the Vanguard publication in court, claiming that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ordered him to buy 2,000 people through his superior, but he succeeded in taking down just 30. Which he regretted. The prosecution counsel is relying on Vanguard publication, not personal investigation, and defense counsel did not object. You could see that all these are happening before the United States observers. You could see what is happening. And this is a drama that unfolded in the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial as the witness begin to testify before the United States observers. Now, at this point in time, when these questions have been asked, you could see that the questions that were asked about Onyame, about the transmitter, and about the correctional center in Imo State, all labeled. This witness came out to state that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu were the perpetrator of this particular act. It is obvious that these were blunders and lies, but it is quite electrifying that it happened in the front of the United States observer for them to see what is happening. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer were all they objected it, and Judge Somotosho moved and took those evidences as exhibit in this particular case. Now, at this point in time, parties concluded cross-examination of the witness being PW4DDD. Now, the court adjourned the sitting to 19 and 20 for continuation of hearing and proceedings at this point in time. Now, the court has adjourned this particular matter to 19th, being tomorrow, and 20th of this particular month in 2025. And Aloy Ejimako, being the lawyer representing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has affirmed that the matter of Federal Republic of Nigeria versus Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been adjourned to tomorrow, 19 June 2025, for continuation of the hearing. At this point in time, you could see that there are a lot of blunders. That how can this witness state that yes, that he raided the ESN camp and he found out that he found some human skulls or whatever. He found out that he now saw that the ESN we are feeding on humans. Like how on earth is this to be believed? It is obvious that even in a civilized world, how can you believe such? That human beings are feeding on human beings, and you're just cooking up all these things to probably indict Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. How can you actually state that yes, the transmitter was brought in, and that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu disseminate information to cause chaos in the particular country? How can you also go further to state that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ordered the raiding of the correctional center in Imo State? So these were faults, these were blunders, all these things happened before the United States observer. Write on the comment section, what is your opinion towards this particular court case, and what do you think about this particular video? Don't forget to share, like, and also hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell of this particular channel. We'll always give information promptly when we get them here. At this point in time, it is obvious that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has pinpointed these particular blunders for everybody to see and know that look at what this witness is stating. And a lot of persons have started reacting. That at this point, I think it is now very clear that if this witness is going to probably unmask his or herself, so that we actually see him and know if this person that is making this testimony or making this false allegation on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's obvious that they are just trying to do all these things to make sure Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is indicted. Now, on the clarification of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's statement over the Fulani herdsmen and what is even happening, you could see that it's even working in collaboration with what the military is stating, that self-defense is now the key towards protecting lives and properties in this particular country. So what on earth that this witness is coming to state against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? It is obvious that the defense team of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have a lot of reply and a lot of evidence and documents to back this particular claim, because this witness has just come out to make a lot of blunders, and I decided to bring it to your view.
Okay, good morning. Okay, yesterday we saw what happened in the court yesterday. We saw 2 US delegates coming to represent, the United States of America in this ongoing trial, and at the same time, we've seen there's a alleged report that the Russian, delegate will be joining the US as regards this issue, and this is becoming a global issue. Yesterday, we also saw, the DSS witness crumble under pressure. He brought false, report and false, evidence against Nnamdi Kanu. Even Judge Omotocho was forced to tell him that they cannot work with, a article from Vanguard News as regards him saying that Nnamdi Kanu ordered for 2008. He shouted down on them. But for what we saw yesterday, we think that Nnamdi Kanu freedom is looming. What's your take as regards?
Yeah, nice. One thing I know is that Ekene the Richineke, onye nke mere ka Buhari bia jide Nnamdi Kanu 2015. Okwa no jide Nnamdi Kanu, nyaka Nnamdi Kanu jibulu a global man. Ekene the Richineke. Yes, having considered the efficacy, how delicate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's issue is, American delegates, Russian delegates, pending, and even Israeli, Canada is not left out, are coming to witness Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's judgment or case. See, listen, American delegates was there yesterday at the DSS facilities where Kanu's case was, transferred to. That is a lacuna of law. It has never happened in the history of this country. A court case, Supreme Court, adjudicating over a case. All of a sudden, the case left Supreme Court to DSS headquarters. All are being so new and very strange to us. This time around, American delegates are there, Russian delegates are preparing to come, and even Israel must be there. And if you ask me, I will tell you this, my presentations actually indicates that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's liberation, freedom is at hand. So what are we saying? Yesterday we've seen a case that has not come to an end, because immediately the legal team led by Arimowolo, the legal team of Nigeria, made mention about an article written by Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard newspaper. What is it that Igbo Nation has done Vanguard newspaper? Then Omotocho shouted down on the legal team of federal government that are at least, bringing many references from what Vanguard has actually written. James Omotocho shouted down on them, and they throw that matter apart. See, what am I trying to say here? It has begun to attract international interest, thereby making Mazi Nnamdi Kanu the most popular person in Nigeria this time around. You can see why it is attracting international attention. What do I mean by my question here? Though it's a rhetorical question, but I can answer you. Fulani herdsmen are from the extraction of the Fulanis, the people that are in charge of Nigerian government, which is why federal government has been pampering Fulani. Fulani herders that are killing in the south, killing in the north, everywhere all over Nigeria has been over-pampered by Nigerian government. Why? Because Fulanis are in charge of the political leadership, political stage and terrain of Nigeria. Why so much attention, bad attention, evil attention given to Igbo man? Because we actually feel, and they feel, that we are the best in the country. Why? Look at our seaport. Calabar Deep Seaport is deeper than our papa here. I can assure you. Let us go experiment on that. Why ship that are coming from Europe, America, all over the world could not land, anchor at Calabar Seaport? Why? The same operation, the same marginalization and the exploitation of Igbo man. That's why Calabar Seaport is not functioning. Look at Onne Airport, very deep. The largest sea vessel actually landed at Onne 2-3 years ago. It was an experiment started by Nyesom Wike to actually know the the cause, the reasons why Nigeria is using only one single seaport at Apapa, Lagos. What do I mean here? Because they don't want Igbo man to move forward. They don't want Igbo man expanded on the continent of Africa. They don't want Igbo man to be as industrialized as we are well known globally for. See, listen and listen good now. Nnamdi Kanu case has taken a multifaceted dimension. Why? Israel is coming to witness it very soon. American delegates, they were there yesterday, and we can see how much interested Putin administration has expressed over the ordeal of that young man, Nnamdi Kanu, a 58-year-old man that was born during the war of Nigeria and Biafra 58 years ago. He was born, the mother slapped him on the back, and the Igbos were rallying from south to southeast, where they are scampering for safety due to the plans of Fulani-led military clique to annihilate, extinct the entire Igbo nation. See, listen and listen good. This administration has a long way to go. Yes, failure to do that, I think if anything happens to Nnamdi Kanu, there is bound to be another protracted, it is going to be over protracted pogrom within this contraption. Because they actually thought that Nigeria in those days, Igbos in those days are the Igbos. Now, Nigerians now, respectively, no. Nigeria of nowadays is not like Nigerian of those days. The Igbos of those days are not like the Igbos of nowadays. The Igbos actually can never be put down by Nigerian military forces. What is going on in Igbo land now? I'm telling you, no military man is fighting for Igbo man. The whole army, the whole military forces of Nigeria is against the Igbo youths. And you see how resilient the Igbo youths are. At least retreating, defending. In defense, they are very strong, proving it to the Nigerian military forces that are 75% Fulani Janjaweeds. The Fulanis are in control of Nigerian army. That's why they are over-pampering the headers, they are over-pampering the bandits, even having meeting and negotiation with headers and bandits. And nobody has been able to arrest a single assailant or culpable Fulani man to try him or her as a result of what the Yoruba farmers, the Igbo farmers, the Urobo farmers, the Efik farmers, the Idomo farmers, the Agatu farmers are going through on the hands of the Fulanis across Nigerian nation. Let me tell you, the current menace that has brought food production to a standstill situation currently in Nigeria is because of Fulani man. The Fulanis, they want everybody to be buying meat and eating meat and depending on meat and turn themselves to gluttonous Nigerians. We can never succumb to that kind of threat. Listen and listen good. The Oboroko we are well known for before in Igbo land. Chagare abruptly stopped Oboroko to a minimal, yes, a minimal stage. Listen, not go on. To a minimal stage. Then Buhari came in 1983, 31st December. After taking over from Chagare, Buhari stopped Oboroko importation totally, in total. Why? Dangerous policy. Dangerous policy of the Fulanis. The Fulanis are the politically wisest tribe in Africa. They stopped Oboroko so that the whole Nigeria will be eating beef, malu. And that is why you see our people dying. Red meat is not good for your health, not for Fulani man. Oboroko, fish is it. White meat. They stop it, and Nigerian political mugus in the southeast, in the southwest, in the north and mid belt could not ask themselves question. Why? How? Oboroko, what is the need of stopping Oboroko now? Tell me now. What is it that Oboroko is doing to you? Yes, cod liver, whatever they call it, blood capsule. Cod is Oboroko. The fat, the egg is medicinal. So tell me the reason why the Janjaweeds called Fulani could make and forward that kind of policy to the House. And the Nigerian political mugu sign it in the House of Senate. They stop Oboroko importation so that Nigerians will be eating cows. We've suffered loss of deprivation on the hands of the wicked Fulani Janjaweeds. Listen and listen good. It is because of the education, information, and the tutor. Lesson, lecture, delivered by Nnamdi Kanu to the Hausas when he was incarcerated in 2015. He tutored those prisoners, those detainees from Hausa extraction, and immediately they got their freedom in 2015, they started spreading the gospel by Nnamdi Kanu that the Fulani Janjaweeds have been in control of the whole north, even though they are visitors. The guests of the Hausas, the original owners of northern region, still they are in control of politics, they are in control of business, they are in control of everything in the northern Nigeria today. They don't Tatars, they don't Gotes. They are Fulanis, they are not Hausas. The principal tribes the Nigerian nation knows today is Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. Wa, Bia, Zo, Bia, Wa. No Fulani, Oga, no Fulani. And if you go to the house and tell them, Ababio will laugh. Ababio will laugh and laugh over it. It will not make sense into what you are saying. Ababia will not consider what I'm saying right now. That we don't have Fulani. What we have is Hausa. Let Hausa represent North. Let Fulani go back to Sahel countries. They are too bloody and blood wasteful people, bloodletting people. They are too sanguinary, of course. I don't want to understand. The Fulanis should never be included into our, political system anymore. Again, they are too bloody. They have succeeded on wasting our resources, destroying our commonwealth, confusing and putting confusion in our midst. They told Yoruba man to hate Igbo man, that Igbo man is the key orchestrator of 1966 coup. They told the Bibios and the Isokos to distance themselves from the Igbo man, that Igbo man is not meant well for them. All these are what we know in history and we read it. My history told me that coup was not orchestrated by the Igbos. The coup, Igbos are just 2 in number. And you see how hate against Igbo man expanded, spread all over Nigeria in 1966. The Igbos were men killed in their large number. Pregnant women, their stomach were ripped open. Fetus in their womb were cut into pieces. Fetus, is unborn baby. When it is in the belly, it is fetus. They cut them into pieces. We've gone a long way to understand what the Fulani Janjaweeds are perpetrating in the Mid-Belt, country home of Yakubu Gowon. Yakubu Gowon has to actually respond to what the Fulanis are doing. It's a payback this time around, because whatever a man sow in his lifetime, he is going to reap it either when he's alive